We are going to see the best of Beirut, Lebanon, but before that, let us first tackle about some things about the city. Beirut. Where did that name came from? Some said that the name of the city was derived from the Canaanite Phoenician Beirut, which means wells in Hebrew, referring to the underground water table used by the local inhabitants of the city before. Another explanation is that the city was named after the Phoenician daughter of Adonis and Aphrodite named Beroe. Lebanon was placed under the Ottoman Empire, and when the empire collapsed, the country was then affected by the World War I that causes many destructions, especially to the city of Beirut. But the colonization of Lebanon did not end at that, because after the World War I, the city was placed under the French mandate until Lebanon finally achieved its independence on the year of 1943, wherein Beirut officially became the capital of the country. The tourism industry in Beirut has been historically important to the local economy and remains to this day to be a major source of revenue for the city and Lebanon in general. Before the Lebanese Civil War, Beirut was widely regarded as the Paris of the Middle East, often cited as a financial and business hub where visitors could experience the Levantine Mediterranean culture. Beirut, Lebanon has a lot of beautiful tourist spots to offer, but here are some of the popular spots. The National Museum of Beirut, the Pigeons Rock, Grand Serail, and the Romans Bath Ruins.
Doha was founded in the 1820s as an offshoot of Al-Bida. It was officially declared as the country's capital in 1971 when Qatar gained independence from being a British proctorate. By mid-1971, as the termination date of the British treaty relationship approached, the Nine still had not agreed on terms of union. Accordingly, Qatar declared its independence on September 3, 1971. In June 1995, Deputy Emir Hamad bin Khalifa became the new emir after his father Khalifa bin Hamad in a bloodless coup. Around 20,000 Brits live in Qatar and approximately 130,000 visit annually. Qatar is situated in Middle East, bordered only by Saudi Arabia. A great proportion of its expats and visitors will be heading to the capital Doha, which is the political and business center of the region. After a fire destroyed the traditional Souk Waqif in 2003, the Qatari government have pumped huge amounts of money into returning it to its former splendor. Despite being given a facelift, visitors to the Souk Waqif can still hunt for traditional clothes, spices, and routines. Any self-respecting visitor or Doha will want to sample the cuisine. There are a number of traditional meals on offer such as makbous, which is spiced rice dish with marinated fish, seafood or meat. Tared is a pot stew full of vegetables and meat. Souk bread is placed at the bottom and covered with tomato sauce and spices. Those with a sweet tooth must opt for a balilet, which contains fried vermicelli noodles, sugar, cinnamon, saffron, and cardamom. The meal is completed with an omelette on top. Qatar itself is a Muslim-majority country, with Islam as the state religion. Alcohol is available in many hotels and in some restaurants, bars, and members-only establishments. Whilst there is no strict dress code for visitors to the country, they are expected to wear modest clothes, suggesting no shorts, vests, or over-the-knee skirts. It's also worth noting that as of June 2017, Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, Bahrain, and Egypt cut diplomatic ties with Qatar. This has led to closures affecting road, air, and sea routes between these countries and Qatar, as well as travel and residence restrictions affecting Qatari nationals.
Durban is located on the east coast of South Africa, looking out upon the Indian Ocean. The city lies at the mouth of the Umgeni River, which demarcates parts of the Durban's north city limit, while other sections of the river flow through the city itself. Durban has a natural harbor, the Durban Harbor, which is the busiest port in South Africa and is the fourth busiest in the Southern Hemisphere. Durban has a humid subtropical climate, with hot and humid summers and pleasantly warm and dry winters, which are snow and frost-free. Durban has an annual rainfall of 1,009 millimeters. The average temperature in summer ranges around 24 degrees Celsius or 75 degrees Fahrenheit, while in the winter, the average temperature is 17 degrees Celsius or 63 degrees Fahrenheit. Archaeological evidence from the Drakensberg Mountains suggests that the Durban area has been inhabited by communities of hunter-gatherers since 100,000 BC. These people lived throughout the area of present-day KwaZulu-Natal until the expansion of Bantu farmers and pastoralists. From the north saw their gradual displacement, incorporation, or extermination. Little is known of the history of the residents, as there is no written history of the area until it was cited by Portuguese explorer Vasco da Gama, who sailed parallel to the KwaZulu-Natal coast at Christmastide in 1497 while searching for a route from Europe to India. He named the area Natal or Christmas in Portugal. Durban, South Africa is a perfect place for explorers, and the most famous destinations in Durban are the Moses Mabhida Stadium, the Umgeni River Bird Park, the Big Rush Swing, Durban's Natural Science Museum, the Paradise Valley, Zulumun Gondola, the Addington Beach, and the Ushaka Beach.
Havana City. Havana City is located in Cuba. It is the biggest and most populous city in Cuba, which spans a total of 781.5 kilometers square, with a population of 2.1 million inhabitants. Have you ever wondered why people in Havana, or particularly all the inhabitants of Cuba, speak in Spanish language? Well, let's go back in the past. It is said that Conquistador Diego Velázquez de Cuellar reached Havana August 25, 1515. A Spanish conquistador gave Havana the sixth town founded by Spanish in Cuba its name, San Cristobal de Havana, because San Cristobal is the patron saint of Havana. Havana became a trading port and it suffered regular attacks from pirates. The first attack was made by the French corsair Jacques de Sores in 1555, which resulted to burning of the city. The attacks convinced the Spanish crown to build a fortress not just for protecting the city but also for them to check if there are some illegal things being imported to the city. Ships from the New World docked in Havana first in order to be taken to Spain. That is why the economy in Havana fueled because of the food and everything Spanish people supplied them. King Philip II of Spain granted Havana the title of city. That is why it is referred to the key to the New World and rampart of the West Indies. In the 17th century, new buildings were made from the most abundant materials of the island. The buildings were made mainly from woods, and it has an Iberian architectural design. A war arises between the British and Spanish people, which lasted for 7 years during the 18th century, and it was finished because of the Peace of Paris. It was signed by the warring powers. The colonization of the Spaniards has brought different cultures in Cuba. They brought not only the Spanish culture but also the American, Chinese, and African culture. The American culture in Havana is very evident because of the El Capitolio looks the same with the capitals in America. The Chinese people before are brought to Havana to work with the African slaves, bringing the religion of Buddhism with them. After completing their 8-year contract, some Chinese immigrants settled permanently in Cuba, resulting to Havana's Chinatown. the biggest and oldest Chinatown in Latin America. Here are two of the traditional foods in Havana. The first one is ropa vieja. It consists of shredded or pulled stewed beef with vegetables, and it has a sweet undertone. They also have empanada, a pasty baked or fried bread stuffed with meat, cheese, and other ingredients. Here are some of the landmarks to be visited in Havana. First is the Havana Vieja or Old Havana. It contains the core of the original city of Havana. Second is the Plaza Vieja where executions, processions, bullfights, and fiestas are being held. The third site to be visited is Fortress San Carlos de la Cabana. It is a fortress on the east side of Havana Bay, and its walls were constructed at the end of 18th century. The fourth landmark is El Capitolio Nacional. It was built in 1929 as the Senate and House of Representatives. Inside stands the third largest indoor statue in the world. The fifth landmark is El Morro Castle, a fortress guarding the entrance of the Havana Bay, guarding it from pirates. The sixth landmark is the Great Theater of Havana. It is an opera house famous because of the National Ballet of Cuba, and it is also known for its concert hall. The seventh landmark is the Malecon. It is the most popular avenue of Havana and is known for its breathtaking sunsets. The eighth landmark is Hotel Nacional de Cuba. It is an Art Deco national hotel famous in the 1950s as a gambling and entertainment complex. The ninth landmark is Museo de la Revolucion. It is located in the former presidential palace with the yak grandma on display behind the museum. Necropolis Cristobal Colon is the 10th landmark to be visited. It is a cemetery and an open-air museum. It was built in 1976 and has nearly 1 million tombs. Some gravestones are decorated with sculptures by Ramos Blancos.
There is a lot to love about Kuala Lumpur, a modern and exotic capital city of Malaysia. Many people visit this magnificent city because they are pulled by its lifestyle, fabulous shopping, world-class cuisine, pristine beaches, flourishing economy, sound education, and pulsating nightlife. The city remains a hidden treasure for many travelers and holiday makers. The city is steeped in history and blessed with rich natural beauty. The number of attractions in Kuala Lumpur is remarkable. The great quantity of activities is absolutely amazing. The capital city of Malaysia abounds with architectural marvels, pre-war buildings. Petronas Twin Towers is a world-renowned icon of Malaysia, the centerpiece of Kuala Lumpur city center, which consists of a shopping mall, star-rated hotels, landscape park, and a convention center. Other prominent landmarks include Kuala Lumpur Tower, Istana Negara National Palace, which is the official residence of the King of Malaysia. If you love the sharks, you will love to visit the Aquaria KLCC, located at the basement of Kuala Lumpur Conventional Center. The aquarium is reputed to be the largest aquarium on the world. You will find 150 species of fishes here. For a memorable experience, walk through the 90 m long tunnel while you watch the fish feeding session. Kuala Lumpur offers a range of green areas and tropical parks for everyone. Enjoy a beautiful picnic with your friends and families at Kuala Lumpur parks, which provide a refreshing retreat for people who love nature. Kuala Lumpur Lake Gardens, Deer Park, Kuala Lumpur Butterfly Park, KLCC Park, and enjoy the beautifully landscaped parks with refreshing atmosphere.
La Paz is the capital of Bolivia. It is the highest administrative capital in the world. It is officially known as Nuestra Señora de la Paz. It stretches to El Alto City in the highlands, with snow-capped 6,438 meters high Mount Illimani as its backdrop. In La Paz, Bolivia, they speak Aymara, Spanish, and Quechua. Now, let us tackle its history. La Ciudad de Nuestra Señora de La Paz was founded and named on October 20, 1548 by a Spaniard, Captain Alonso de Mendoza at present-day Laja, situated on the Tiwanaku Road. Soon after, La Paz shifted to its present location, the valley of Chiquiwago-Marca, which had been occupied by a community of Aymara miners. The 16th century Spanish historian Cesar de Leon remarked of the newfound city, "This is a good place to pass one's life." Since Bolivian independence in 1825, the republic has endured over 190 changes of leadership. In fact, the presidential palace on the plaza is now known as the Palacio Quemado, Burned Palace, owing to its repeated gutting by fire. Moving forward, let us know about their traditions and festivals. First is the Fiesta del Gran Poder. Between the months of May and June, the whole city of La Paz stops to celebrate one of Bolivia's most extravagant and unique festival. Fiesta del Gran Poder is a religious celebration paying homage to El Señor del Gran Poder, or Jesus Christ. The dramatic festival features thousands of dancers parading down the sprawling streets of La Paz, flaunting their colorful costumes, while in thousands of spectators cheer in delight. Each year, during the first week of January, the people of La Paz join together to celebrate the religious festival Akokala, featuring a colorful parade of traditional dance and music. Akokala marks the time in Bolivia's harvest calendar when potato fields begin to bloom. The last part is the different tourist attractions in La Paz, Bolivia. First is Tiwanaku. It is surrounded by mountain ranges with Lake Titicaca on its west side. In that beautiful place, you can buy pottery, scarves, clothes, crafts, and other handmade things. The second is Copacabana Cathedral. It is the oldest churches in Bolivia and is a fine example of Moorish-style architecture. The last one is the Island of the Moon. This place offers a great view of the Ilumpo Peak and the eastern mountain range.